Welcome to the On Call podcast.
So I wouldn't say I'm one of those who works a lot on her profile.
Yeah.
So the name Healing Neuron is
Yeah.
because I feel like since I have gone through, I have this mental health journey that I have been through, and I feel like I've come out of it, most of it.
Yeah.
And I'm still struggling, but I feel like that whole process for me was something that I did not have help.
Valid.
And I feel like it's very hard when you
Like
don't
most
have
Indian
help.
kids, yes.
Yeah, it's very hard when you don't have help, and I've seen it with other people, and so I did not. I wanted to help people. So there are a lot of topics that I like to talk about. One of them is CBT
Yeah.
and study techniques. I also like to talk about study techniques, and I feel I'm very passionate about it because I feel like Indian students are not taught the right way to study.
Yeah,
The
valid-
way
valid,
we're
valid,
taught
yeah.
to study
It's
is
very
actually,
rote learning because it's a very colonial system
Yes.
which is in play.
I feel like it's not scientifically
Yeah, it's not.
effective.
It's not. Yeah, because the
And-
education system was built not for creating great minds. It was built by the Britishers,
Yeah.
and they wanted workers.
Yes.
So it's a very not be your own boss mentality.
Exactly. And the thing is that this kind of studying actually doesn't even work in our profession because
Yeah.
we're not studying to become robots. We're studying to work. And you'd realize that if you just learn something and you have that patient in front of you, you know nothing.
Nothing about
you
it.
know
Yeah.
nothing.
It's very practical oriented.
So I feel like there were a few books that I read about and a few videos that I've seen about active learning and spaced repetition, and
Yeah.
I really, really want to incorporate them in my own study. But it's very hard to walk a different pathway.
Yeah.
It's very easy to just go through your notes and study the way everybody does, but it's very hard to study in a way that very few people have, and especially medical students in India. So I decided to create this account so that I have a record of it, and the people's eyes are on me.
Because you wanted to document it as well,
Yes.
and also it keeps you accountable
Yes.
somewhat. Yeah.
So I want people's eyes on me, and I felt like if I do it and other people also do it, that will be motivation for me as well because I'm doing something really, really new.
Yeah.
So if people do it and I get that dopamine, I
Yeah.
get, my reward system works and I want to do it more.
Yeah.
And one thing that I really propagate is the use of Anki, the software Anki.
Yeah.
It's a flashcard software, and I have based my studying on that. And if it wasn't for Anki, I would have never cracked this NEET PG with the rank that I have, because that software really honestly saved my life.
Yeah.
Because you don't need to study for 8 hours or 12 hours with that.
Yeah.
You can study for 5 hours and you're done, and you
Yeah.
remember things. You have that satisfaction that whatever you're reading is imprinted in your brain.
Yeah, because that spaced repetition thing works
Yeah.
that way.
So it was that. So these are a few things that I'm really passionate about, and I want to really speak on that.
Yeah.
At that time I started my account, I myself did not know the benefits, but
Yeah.
now that I've been using it, and thanks to my own account, I've been
Yeah.
using it regularly.
More than that, I feel even with your with all these communities that you've run, it's more than anything, it's a huge networking tool, right?
Yes, it is.
Because you get to now talk with connect with a lot of these individuals who are like-minded, and
Yes,
also
yes.
doing well in their fields or whatever they're doing.
Yes.
And now suddenly you have access to their the information bank that they have in their
Yes.
heads. I'm sure that you were telling me that you heard about the whole Anki thing from Abbas sir or
Not from Abbas sir, there's this YouTuber called Ali Abdal.
yes.
Yeah, so he's pretty famous, and now his work is a bit different. But
Yeah.
when I was in final year,
Yeah.
that is when I saw his video, and he talked about.
This is back in
Anki.
2014.
No, I was in final year in 2018.
Oh, so I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, 2014 is when you.
We
2014.
joined,
Yeah.
we joined
I'm so
college,
sorry. Yeah.
It's okay. So in 2018, but I was too late because my exams had already started, so I
Yeah.
couldn't incorporate a new method.
Yeah.
So I thought that in intern year I'll incorporate this method, but never really materialized because intern year is intern
Yeah.
year, right? So
Irrespective, also, like, because what I feel like people in our generation don't really realize, especially doctors in our generation don't realize, coming fresh out of medical college, they don't realize that our field is very much not theoretical, first of all. Second of all, it's very much business oriented, because
Yes.
we are a direct to consumer business profile, right? So networking is a huge thing for us.
yes.
So just building these communities and having that sort of extrovertness, I would
Yes.
say, really helps in the long run for you to
Yes.
connect with like-minded people, and then you can build on something much better in the future.
Like I connected with you.
Yeah, valid.
So also there's something that you won't believe. I got so I was looking for jobs.
Yeah.
After NEET 2021 and after NEET 2022.
Yeah.
You won't believe I got both those jobs because I put up a story on my account
Yeah.
that I'm looking for JR vacancies. Somebody who became a friend later on contacted me and said that there's this vacancy here, and the interview or the you have to come right now. Like you have
Okay.
to come to Akshardham right now. Can
Yeah.
you do it? And I was like, yeah, sure, because it was the job of a vaccination officer.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that job is like
Yeah,
job
it's
is like you're just sitting and
Sitting
getting
there.
money.
Yeah, valid.
So, and you get the government pay scale. So
Yeah.
that was amazing. The second one was where somebody contacted me and they said that this hospital is looking for an ICU doctor.
Yeah.
Do you have the experience? I said, yes, I do have the experience. And so they contacted me, and that is how I got the job.
That's great.
When people asked me, I told them that I got it on Indeed because I did not want to go into this whole story.
Yeah.
But this is the truth that how I got
Okay,
it.
okay,
So
okay.
this is why I believe that networking really, really helps.
Really helps. Yeah.
Yes. I have actually got a job from Indeed.
Yeah.
But I did not go forward with it because this was when this was after 2021. I got a job from Indeed. I went for their interview and I got it. But the thing was, the pay was so much higher for the vaccination officer.
Of course, yeah.
So
and
I
the
was
work was
like-
much less.
The work was much less. It was just mostly traveling for me, and I
Yeah.
don't mind traveling.
Yeah, valid.
So
Why not?
Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
What are your future plans? Because we were talking earlier about you really want to advocate, not just stereotype your account as a studygram. It's
Yeah,
more of a
yeah.
medgram.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about mental health issues and things that you're passionate about and holistic development during undergrad.
Yes.
What is the future for where you're taking this, your Discord servers or your YouTube channel or your Instagram profile?
Okay, so I'm not on Discord anymore. So
Yeah.
I'm not progressing with that.
Yeah.
But I really want to work on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I want to, I've seen, so I've grown all my free time in college as well as now goes in watching all these medical YouTubers, and
Yeah.
I really, really want to be like that.
Yeah.
The fact that my account has grown so much
Yeah.
is actually like a dream come true for me, because I used to look at all these accounts and, most of them are not Indian, which is also sad because we should have more of Indian medical influencers
Valid.
who are legit.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah,
this
I
might
understand that. Yeah,
cause
I
some
understand.
controversy,
Yeah,
but I
I
want
understand what you mean.
legit medical professional influencers
Yeah.
who just don't talk about only one topic.
Yeah.
They show their work. They show what
You
they're
want
doing.
a multifaceted environment
I
to be
want
created
to see their
online.
vlogs.
Yeah.
I don't want them hop. It's not like it's bad to hop on trends, but
Yeah.
I don't want to just see their reels. I
Yeah.
don't want to see their work, which is just made for engagement.
Yeah.
I want to see where they work, what they work about, and what makes them so passionate. I want to see them teaching their topics.
Yeah.
So those, unfortunately, there are very few medical professionals in India who do this.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe there are, and maybe I'm not aware of
So
them.
this kind of content mainly is out there in the West.
Yes.
In the European and in American
Yeah.
places, but the problem with the content being over there is that you can't relate to that,
Yeah, exactly.
and you need something very specific for the Indian
Yeah.
context, because it's India,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
there's so many multifaceted problems that we
Yes.
face, and you need somebody who's going through that,
Yeah.
which is also the point of these podcasts, to
Yes.
kind of address that,
Yeah.
and also talk about journeys of other doctors and experiences they've been through, so that you can gain experience from that.
Exactly. So another thing about my account is that I really, for me, I don't know why I don't like to be called an influencer. That's why I called it my blog. So I wanted to be like a story,
Yeah,
like
valid.
I really like to focus more than reels
Yeah.
on my static posts where I can write long captions.
You want to document stuff,
Yeah.
basically.
I have had a very slow growth on Instagram. So for me, I don't have anything to lose.
Yeah.
So, I don't want, look, everybody says that they don't work for followers. But yeah, obviously followers
It's
are
a
nice.
dopamine hit, yeah.
No, I like to get followers. Aisa
Yeah.
nahi. I just realized that my static posts get
Yeah.
more followers because people like to read my posts and I like to write.
Yeah.
So that is what I really want to do. I have lots, like initially when I was thinking of taking anesthesia, I thought, I'd in the OT, I'll have a drug in my hand and, take a
Yeah.
picture of it and post about it
Yeah.
and different things. And I also like to relate philosophical things
Yeah,
to
valid.
different things. Like I was taking a CBT course,
Yeah.
and I like to relate things that happens in our own medical profession or when we study. So I really like to do that. I like to relate things that way. For me, future of my account is mostly to show how I'm working, the different opportunities that I get to know in my own field. I would also like to teach,
Yeah.
but teach in a very different way. I want to incorporate all the basic subjects first, and then move on to the my own subject. Like I realized that when I was preparing this time, I started with the basic subjects. I started with anatomy, physiology, and biochemistry, and I realized all the other subjects are actually very easy. When
Yeah.
this is where I spent a lot of time. I spent 1 month on anatomy when I just had 3 months.
Yeah.
And I realized that everything is so easy.
Yeah.
When you when after
When
I
your
read
basics are right.
after I read physiology, medicine and pharma became butter. Like
Okay.
I just had pharma. I just had to remember the drugs. That's all.
Yeah.
It became very very easy for me. So that is the kind of teaching approach that I want to take.
Yeah.
I want to start from the basics, absolute basics, and then go on, because then if I build it up,
Yeah.
it becomes really easy for the person to understand and relate. Suppose like brainstem syndromes.
Yeah.
I will, in that whole video,
Yeah.
or that whole session, I will tell them about the brainstem
Okay.
sections,
Anatomies?
make
Okay.
it easy for them,
Okay.
and then tell them from where because that is how I learned it myself.
Okay, I
And-
understand that now. Yeah.
yeah. So I will go from so when I teach, I will start with ABC
Yeah.
for that topic only, relevant
Okay.
to that topic,
Yeah.
and then go on to what is there, because I feel like
Okay.
once, even if they're not paying attention during the end moment,
Yeah.
if they just know the ABC,
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
very easy to know the CD.
Okay.
E.
Okay, that's valid. That's a
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
That's a good approach to it.
Yeah.
Now, so of course, the point of these podcasts is so that somebody in XYZ college in India will now have access to some information that they previously didn't.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So what about somebody who is in some rural setup or
Yeah.
in some XYZ college, and they really want to try this the whole studygram, or like try
Yeah.
making a Discord server
Yeah.
and work on Discord, or like study on
Yeah.
Discord. What if they want to get into this community? What would be your advice to them, like in a comprehensive manner?
I think starting a studygram or a Discord server takes no money, takes no resources. All they need is a phone, a laptop, or an iPad. And I think most medical students have that, irrespective of the college they're going
Yeah,
to.
a phone, yeah.
They have a smartphone, right?
Yeah.
So if you want, and all you have, your studygram doesn't have to be about aesthetic pictures.
Yeah.
It has to be engaging, as in, don't put things that don't really, like, even if you saw your own account, would you like it? Would you follow it? That's how you see it.
Yeah.
Like, you have to put on something that makes a person stop. You have to see it from that perspective.
Okay.
That if a person opens my account, or if they just randomly hop onto my account, will it make them stay? So you think of it like a marketplace.
Yeah,
So
valid.
if you have a shop, what are the items that you will put in first? So that is why Instagram has that pin option.
Yeah, valid.
So what are the things that you will put in first that will lure them inside?
Yeah.
So that is how you make a studygram. Studygram just requires an Instagram. So initially you will start small. And you can't compare yourself with somebody who has like 1,000 followers or 10,000 followers. You can't do that. What you have to do, initially you will start with 1-2 followers. What you have to do is that you have to start engaging or networking. You have to start networking. I know a lot of studygrammers who started from scratch, but since they started talking to me, or they started networking, and not networking in an annoying way, but
Yeah.
networking in a way that benefits the person.
Yeah,
who
it
you're
has to be productive on both sides.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So, you tell them that, I am probably going to start a post where I might need valuable inputs from you, and I
Yeah.
will put it down there. So the other person does not want your likes or does
Yeah.
not want followers. The other person just wants
Yeah.
just wants their participation.
Yeah.
So that is how you network. You start networking, and that is how you build.
Yeah.
And once you have a good number of studygrammers, or you have friends who are at the similar follower count as you, so when you do that, you start something together. You start a collab.
Yeah.
Like, you start a challenge together. Let's have a studying challenge where
Yeah.
you show your 4 stars at the end of the day. That is how I grew. Like,
Yeah.
I used to have these challenges. So you
You grew because of
Yeah,
Study
yeah.
Revolution by Abbas.
No, I did not grow because of Study Revolution
Okay.
by Abbas sir, but I know about Study
Yeah.
Revolution. I did not take part much in it because when he started the study revolution thing, I wanted to get off Instagram.
Okay, valid.
So, but I think it was great.
Yeah.
So anyway, what they can do is they can do something similar,
Yeah.
and they can ask people to come with them, and then slowly, if you want to do giveaways and everything. So that is how you build your studygram. And one thing about a studygram is that you have to be consistent with it.
Yeah, that's something I feel like people really should know.
The whole idea about anything
in
is to
general,
be consistent. I think consistency is a hack that a lot of people don't know about, but it is a beautiful hack. I mean, that is the only way you can get what you want.
Valid. One thing I really wanted you to educate the audience about was how to work Discord, because you have some experience with it.
So Discord
It seems daunting. Like even to me, I'm
it is.
fairly tech savvy, but it's even to me it seems a bit daunting.
Yes.
So
So basically you're asking how to join a server, right? So you
Yeah.
will have somebody will have a server link.
or like suppose you want to create a community.
Oh, sure. So on Discord there is an option of creating your own server.
Well,
So when they create their own server, then they have an invite link. That invite link usually expires in some time. So you select the invite link that is that the never expires. There's an option like
Yeah.
that. So and then you you put it up on your story or you call your friends there, and then there are rooms there are different chat rooms and there are voice call rooms in Discord. So the voice call room is where you can enter. It's like a Google Meet.
Yeah.
You enter, you mute yourself,
Yeah.
and then you can turn on your camera.
Yeah.
And
Or you can just you don't need to mute yourself.
Yeah. If you want to talk.
Yeah.
So purpose of Discord when I used it was just to have the voice call. You're there in the room, but you're muted and your camera is on or off depending on. So it was like a virtual library.
Yeah.
So that is how you enter the voice call room.
Yeah.
And you can exit it. So basically it works a lot like Google Meet.
Yeah.
So if you think of it like that, then
Yeah.
it becomes easier.
Yeah.
So the voice call is when you enter the Google Meet.
Yeah.
And then you can exit it as well. Yeah.
So you enter and you're in a Google Meet with multiple other people who are also studying.
Yeah.
So and you build your community around that.
Yeah. So you can also keep your camera. It's called a desk cam.
Yeah.
Where you just focus, where you just put your camera facing your table.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to show your face and everything, so you can do that also. A lot of people have done this. I've also done this when I was streaming.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to show your face, that is fine. The way you can take camera stands are like cheap and you can get one and I used to use a bottle sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to use a bottle sometimes just to
elevate it.
Yeah.
And keep it there.
So
Sure.
I like anything, whatever helps. So that is how you can study, and it really helps. There are other sites also. I think it's called Binder UK.
Yeah.
So I've
Binder
seen people.
UK.
I never figured how it worked, so I never used it.
Oh, that was really loud.
It's okay. So these are different sites. It's just I think all of this is just this desperate attempt to find like-minded people.
It is.
I know friends who have studied with people on Discord.
Yeah, this is something I wanted to talk about with
They have
you.
become such good friends. They went on trips together.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a friend who studied with these people on another server. And when I met him when he came to Delhi and I asked him why he's in Delhi, he said that he's going to Manali with his Discord friends. So it actually becomes a very close-knit group. Because,
Of course, yeah.
Even my friends, I share everything with them, and sometimes the group dies. Sometimes it's okay. That's natural.
Yeah.
People get busy with their own things, but I really have a lot of love for these people.
Yeah.
And I talk to them, and we watch movies, and we even my previous group. The thing is, everybody became PGs. Most people became PGs, so that group did not function. And I also got off that. I did not get off that group. I was not that active because I had to study again.
Yeah.
But that group was so active till whole counseling scene, and counseling scene was postponed at that time. That group was so active. We watched so many movies together.
Yeah, because you can do that in a Discord server.
Yeah. So these are friends on Telegram.
Yeah.
But they were on the server as well.
Yeah.
And the whole group was a beautiful place to be in that group. Everybody, whenever you did not open the group for a long time, you would see like 800, 700 messages missed, and you would actually read through them because they were so entertaining. So that group was beautiful. I think you can create a beautiful community, and that all comes down to networking and all. I think you'll find very like-minded people. Sometimes,
Yeah.
we don't have like-minded people in our own college.
Yeah.
But online, you can find like-minded people.
course, of
and
course.
it really helps to know that there are people struggling with the same issues.
Yeah.
So that has been of great help throughout my whole journey. And I'm really, really happy that I made this account. My parents were very angry initially.
Yeah?
Because, yeah. So they thought that, Instagram, she's
Oh,
on
acha, acha.
Instagram. And
Okay.
they do not understand the studygram aspect of it. To them,
Very-
it
very
was just...
conservative Bengali.
No, they're not they're not conservative. It's just that I had not explained it to
Yeah.
them. So I had not told them that, it's a studying thing.
Yeah.
But when they saw me streaming and when they saw that it was actually helping me, they actually, my mom is very supportive of it. Like, she helps me. She's like, okay, you can use this background for your reel. That will look nice. Or she'd give me reel
That's
ideas.
so cute.
Yeah, my mom is very supportive
Aw.
of it. So she's very, like when I got 10,000 followers, I told her and she was
Yeah.
very, very happy.
Yeah.
Like she's also into all of this, like she has a YouTube account. It's a Bengali account.
Yeah.
So, so she posts songs, Tagore songs and
Yeah.
all of that. She posts random things. So she really likes all of this.
Yeah.
And my mom, she's done something that even I haven't. She's monetized her YouTube. She gets money from YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, she gets money from YouTube. So sometimes what happens is that I give her...
What is this family with this side hustle? I swear.
So, like when I went to Jaipur recently, I
Yeah.
took videos. So she always asked me to take videos in the horizontal mode.
Yeah.
So I took videos for her that, here are, you have sources, you have like video.
Oh my god, she's outsourcing content.
Yeah, she
That's
does
so
this,
cool.
she's like, whenever I go to some XYZ place, she's like, oh, take videos. And sometimes it's annoying because
Yeah.
they're like, I can't take videos all the time. So, yeah, but it's fun. She's very
That's so
supportive
cool.
of all this.
That's so
Yeah.
cool. God damn. So you are currently in this journey where you want to talk about CBT and mental health issues,
Yeah.
and you want to educate everybody who is following you about these things, because it's something which is still very taboo in our
Yes.
medical
Yes,
community
yes.
for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And a lot of people struggle with anxiety and stuff.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this, and what are you doing to play a part?
So the friends that I studied with, I could sometimes feel their anxiety even through Discord. I could
Yeah.
feel it. They type. So we had a venting space where
Yeah.
they would vent, and I could feel that anxiety. I could feel it, and and during this preparation, when I was preparing for NEET 2022. I actually was in a very good state of mind. I realized a lot of things about myself. It was a journey. Like initially, it started off like very traumatic, but as soon as I got into the hang of things, I realized that I was actually very grateful for the fact that I had to study again. And another thing that I did is I started prophylactically taking psychotropic meds. I started taking escitalopram because I knew.
500.
Yeah, I knew that my mental health will not.
Yeah, that's good. I think there's nothing wrong in that.
Yeah,
It's good that you did it.
and I'm speaking about it. I'm saying that everybody can do. Not everybody. Basically, you need
Yeah.
a prescription. But the thing is that the fact that I had started it kept my mental health it kept it in check. Like I could not feel anxiety except the few days before the exam, which
Yeah.
is normal. No, anxiety is normal. So, so that is what I did. I have talked about this on my account that, you should, before studying for any exam, you should really invest in your mental health.
Yeah.
That is something that we really don't do.
Yeah, it
Or that
is.
is not really talked about. When you invest in your mental health, you'll realize that you study with a different way. And there's something that my psychiatrist said, that when you have poor mental health, you're already behind the game. And this is a
Valid.
competitive exam. So you're already behind the race.
Yeah. I
She-
feel
she-
like what people don't do is that they go into the study thing, they go into studying mode for the exam without making their goals to themselves clear, or they make very unrealistic goals. I feel you need to have not what I'm going to do today, or what I'm going to do tomorrow, or what are my goals, short-term goals or long-term goals. You need to have a talk with yourself about why are you doing this.
Yes.
Is it really very important for your growth? Is that the
Yeah.
reason why you're leaving a job and you're taking a drop year and you're doing
Yeah.
all this? You need to really have that conversation with yourself to make things easier for you in the long run.
Yes. And I think a lot of people, initially they're like, mental health is nothing, I'm fine and everything. A lot of doctors do that, I myself have done that. So
Yeah.
a lot of doctors do that, because mental
We're
health.
so used to the
Yeah.
constant pressure that's around us that we're like, haan, theek hai,
So
chalta hai.
preparation for us is what? which app do I have to buy, which
Yeah.
books do I have to buy, and then start.
Yeah.
Nobody thinks that, okay, I'm going to study for 6-7 months.
Yeah.
What will be my mental state during those 6-7 months? What do I have to do for those bad days?
Yeah.
So
What is
nobody
my
will-
surety that I will get it into 6-7 months? What is my plan B after that?
That is all okay. That is
Yeah.
all result oriented.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about the process.
Yeah. Okay.
So
valid.
during the process, what if one day I have a panic attack and I'm so crippled that I can't study? What about those days? You have to
Yeah.
think about those days. And for me, it was good because I already had those days when I was preparing for 2021. So for 2022, I was prepared.
Yeah.
So what I feel is a good way to tackle these thoughts is that there's something called cognitive distortion.
Yeah.
So what cognitive distortion is that because of a lot of adverse situations in our life, our brain is habituated into thinking a particular way. For example, I have not got a good rank in 2021. When I am studying for 2022, my brain will constantly think that I will also this time not get a good rank in 2022 because that is what I am. I am
Yeah.
a failure.
Yeah.
So these are cognitive distortions. These are different ways our brain has habituated itself to start thinking. So once we write down our dominant thoughts, once we write them down and we figure out and we read about these cognitive distortions, or we watch some videos, or we educate ourselves, you can actually point out your cognitive distortions.
Yeah.
There is something called having a negative filter, where you don't suppose you've done 5 tasks and you've not done 6 tasks. You will never applaud yourselves for the 5 tasks that you've done. Your brain will constantly think about the 6 tasks that you've not done.
Yeah.
So this is like a filter. So this is also a cognitive distortion. So once you figure out what cognitive distortion is happening at that particular thought, once you have a talk about yourself, once you go inside your own brain and think about the different thoughts that you're having, your brain will feel acknowledged. Your brain will feel that the thoughts it's thinking, they're acknowledged. Secondly, you will realize that you are seeing this from a very scientific point of view. And as doctors, we are people of science. So if we have any anxious thought, when we look at our anxious thought, we realize that no, this is a cognitive distortion. Sometimes we feel that our anxious thought is like a sixth sense or an
Yeah.
intuition. But what we don't realize that it was never an intuition. So there are 2 possibilities. Either I do well on the test or I don't do well on a test.
Yeah.
The probability of doing either is very high.
Yeah.
So it's never really intuition. The
Yeah.
probability was very high.
Yeah. Valid.
So that is what people feel, that people confuse it with their sixth sense.
Okay. Valid.
So I feel like this is a helpful way.
What is the way out of it? How do you snap out of it?
You don't snap out of it. It takes a lot of time. You just tell yourself, like suppose a lot of people have a lot of sticky notes in front of
Yeah.
their table or something.
Yeah.
What I'd recommend is, instead of these sticky notes, stick your dominant anxious thoughts.
Yeah.
And write down there are different types of cognitive distortions. I don't want to get into them.
Yeah.
But people can educate themselves on it. And you can write down those thoughts and mark the number of times you've had those thoughts. When you start doing this, your brain starts feeling ashamed. So you become very aware of your own thoughts.
Yeah.
And you can talk yourself out. Okay, this is not the way.
Okay.
So this is a good way. It takes some time, but
Yeah.
this is actually something that I've learned in the CBT practice.
Yeah.
So it's very, very helpful because
Yeah.
your anxious thoughts are now organized, and
Yeah.
our brain loves
A huge
anything
part
to.
of CBD is actually
Yeah.
like literally penning down
Yeah.
and maintaining a diary.
Yeah. So that you can do that on a diary too. I feel like when it's in front of you,
Yeah,
it's
of
just
course.
easier.
It's easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. More accessible information.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's great. Chandrayee, like it gives me like I'm extremely happy that I got you for this interview and you spoke about so many things.
Thank you for calling me.
Thank you for showing up so impulsively. I did not expect that today would happen.
And I'm very sorry. I've postponed a lot of interviews.
No, that's
but
fine.
Yeah. But
That's
this
fine.
one was like, okay, let's do it today.
I'm really I don't even know you, but I'm sort of proud of the individual you're becoming currently.
Thank you.
And I'm really happy that people in our generation, our generation of medical practitioners are, taking these steps forwards, reaching out a bit and talking about these very relevant, important issues and addressing them. And in doing so, building communities
Yes,
within a larger community.
And thank you for doing this. I think it'll really help.
I
a lot
think
of
it'll,
people.
I hope it does. The entire point
Yeah.
of this is, to help
Help
some
people.
some
At
random
the end
person
of
from
the
a
day,
random
we
college.
just want to help medical students because
Yeah, I feel like that's the thing, no? That's
Yeah.
the whole the senior mentality plays into my head is
because
that
we've been there with nobody to help.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
like
100%.
when I do this, I feel like I'm doing it for that
Yeah.
person who was alone.
Because we didn't have access to
Yeah.
this information growing
Yeah,
up.
Exactly.
So I feel like, yeah, thank you so much for doing
You're
this.
welcome, and thank you for inviting me.
Yes. I knew this was going to happen. I knew at some point that somebody's going to ring a bell. I'll just repeat.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for doing this with me. All the best on your journey.
Thank you so
henceforth.
much.
And I usually end the podcast in this way: is I ask you to introduce yourself one more time, your
Yeah.
name, where you're from, which college you studied from,
Okay.
and what are you doing right now in life.
Okay, hi, I am Dr. Chandrayee Pattanayak, and I've done my MBBS from North TMC Medical College and Hindura Hospital, and I am a NEET PG aspirant waiting for the counseling since eons, and right now I'm just enjoying the free time that I have.
Yeah.
And currently I'm on this podcast and I'm waiting for it to come out and I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's there.
Thank you. Great.
Thank you.